We get into this episode of Grassroots Racer, we'd like to thank yet another one of our partners, CV Bearings Bendigo. Far more than just a bearing store, Alan and Marion, along with their staff, have over 80 years of combined experiences in their industry. No matter what you need, CV Bearings expertise should be your first call, whether it's trucks, cars, machinery, welding, or even DIY. Located 7B Wood Street, Long Gully. And go in there and tell Alan and Marion Ed sent you. Hi everybody, welcome back to another episode of Grassroots Racer. Did you know I've spoken to 26 other people involved in Grassroots Motorsport over the last 6 months? And it's disappointing that lockdown has put a stop to lots of racing over the last 12 months, and at least gave me a chance to speak to more people about the things that they can share with you all. Tonight's guest is a real mix of talents in motorsports, photography, and getting involved in car clubs and motorcarners. And she is another awesome example of women loving motorsports just as much as the guys. So hi Marisa, and welcome to the show.
Hi Eden, thanks for having me on your show.
No, it's great to have you on. It's always great to have women, men, all sorts of people on this show. No matter what race car you drive, it's amazing to have everyone on. Firstly, Marisa, you told me that you started doing photography for Grassroots Motorsport in 2010. And you started your business in 2011. So what made you interested in motorsport and wanting to take photos of race cars?
So it all started when I was a kid. My dad loves Alfa Romeos and always had Alfa Romeos. And our family always watched Formula One and MotoGP. He actually took me to the MotoGP when I was in grade 5, and that was like my first exposure to motorsport, and I really loved it. And as I grew older and learnt to drive, then I got my first car was an Alfa, and got involved in the Alfa Club, and then started doing photography for them. It all started with the Alfa Club Spectacular. And then they let me know about their motorsport events. And in 2010, Alfa Romeo celebrated 100 years of Alfa Romeo. And they had an event at Phillip Island, and where I took my Alfa Sud Sprint. And they had this huge parade lap with hundreds of Alfas from all years and all different makes. And it was just so spectacular. And we did this parade lap where we all lined up on track, and I remember going past the start finish line and thinking, oh, I really want to race one day. And then I started photographing their sprint days. And when I started doing that, one of my friends, Steve Aarons, he was like, oh, you should race. And when I was a uni student, I just couldn't afford it to begin with, so it took a few years before I could actually afford to do it.
So is that where you really thought to yourself, I really want to get involved in like racing in the car? And is that when you started racing your Alfa Romeo for the Alfa Romeo Club?
I didn't start with my Alfa Romeo. I did do parade laps at the sprint days when I was a photographer, so that was like a little bit of fun. But yeah, I had to wait until I finished uni and got a full-time job, and then saved up for the 𝘊𝑚. And once I had the 𝘊𝑚, then I was old enough and financially stable enough to actually start racing, and I started with motorcarners.
For the people who don't know, she currently drives a Fiat 500, which, how new is it actually? Because it looks pretty new.
It's actually 10 years old.
Oh.
He just turned 10. So it's a 2011 Fiat 500 𝘊𝑚. And it's a 1.4 litre turbo, which I actually haven't modified it at all, just upgraded the brake and put some Nankang A1s for carnicross and the sprint days.
So when you bought your dream car, which is what you own now, what made you love this model of car?
So when I was in uni, they released the new Fiat 500. So it was the modern Fiat 500 that we know today. And yeah, I just fell in love with it. And I knew from way back then that I would get one day. And then, so in 2016, I saved up enough money, and originally I was just going to buy a Fiat 500 Sport, and I test drove that, and then I test drove an 𝘊𝘠𝘴, and the speed and the power, I was like, oh no, I need to get an 𝘊𝘡𝘴. So I saved up that little bit more, and so I got mine secondhand, and it was already 5 years old when I got it, but it had low kilometers and it was in great condition. And it's my daily driver as well. So at the moment I'm working from home, so I don't have to worry so much about the car being okay the next day. So yeah, that's partly why I'm participating in more events this year.
That's amazing. That's your daily driver, and you've kept it in such great condition for 10 years. And if you guys don't know, Marisa comes to the track in her Fiat gear, and she drives her Fiat, and it's always clean. So you do a really good job of keeping it clean. And then you did Fiat Nationals, and you enjoyed that so much, then you were basically hooked on into competing more events, I'm guessing.
It all started with the Fiat Car Club did a come and try Motorcana, and the come and try Motorcana was also the practice for the Fiat Nationals that year. This was 2018. And so I was like, I've got to give this a go. And yeah, once I started, I was like, oh, I want to keep doing this. And the good thing about Motorcana is it's a very good way to start because it's not very expensive to enter, and you can use your daily car. You don't have to have anything specially modified. So yeah, that's why I started, and I'm really happy that certain people who I'll mention later encouraged me to do it.
I've been pretty excited when you won the Fiat Car Club of Victoria's Motorsport Ladies Trophy for 2018. What did the winning side of that mean to you? At
first it was a surprise because that was my first year competing, but it was really good, and such an honor to win that, and hopefully my win that year encourages more females in the club to get involved. Yeah, it still means a lot to me today. Yeah.
You actually gone on to win quite a while, other events and ladies trophies, and you told me you had a great friendship with Ruth, who also competes. So what do you both find that you push each other to perform better by being close competitors?
So Ruth's fantastic. So yeah, we're always competing against each other, and we've created this thing called the Gangemi Cup, which is so her last name's Bream, my last name's Gangemi, and we've combined the two. So I'm not sure what the score is at the moment, but that's what we're doing, just as a bit of fun. But we're always encouraging and helping each other because at the end of the day, we are competing for the Fiat Car Club as well, and we're trying to get our car club to win a trophy one year. And we're also, Ruth and I are always trying to encourage other females in our club to get involved, and also a lot of female juniors. So as you know, Ruth's daughter, Erin, was racing with you in juniors at Bendigo, and Charlotte Barlow, and there are a few others coming up. So it's always good to see new talent coming in, and I'm always happy to compete with other females, because at the end of the day, the more we have, the more fun, and we keep the motorsport alive. So yeah.
Yeah, in the last couple of years, it's definitely been difficult with the COVID-19 virus spreading. You did the this year's Broadford International Women's Day. Was that exciting to be a part of an event like that? You know, encouraging more females to get into motorsport?
It was an awesome day, and I'd have to thank Race Chicks Motorsport and also the BMW Car Club for hosting that event. It was a good day because I met other like-minded women around the same age as well, all there with their daily drivers, and we're all at the same level learning, and it was good to have an instructor, and also just have an environment where we weren't competing. We were there purely to learn, and get to know the track, and get to know techniques of how to take corners, and how to hit an apex. So, and I've made a few really good friends out of it. So keen to get along to one of their events again.
Yeah, your dream car was being the Fiat, and you now own that and drive it very well. And you're a fan of the Italian flag, like you a fan of Italians, and do you go for like Ferrari and Formula One, for an example, or do you follow any other categories of motorsport?
Yeah, huge Ferrari fan, and I was a huge Valentino Rossi fan growing up, and I really looked up to Susie Wolff so she was the test driver in F1, and also Danika Patrick, who I actually really enjoy her podcast now. And also I follow Chelsea Angelo. I love what she's doing, and on her socials she's got really good insights into motorsport and also her journey, so I'm a huge fan of her. And also I looked up to, there was a lady who's in the Alpha Club called 𝘠𝘠𝘠𝘠𝘠, and she, when I first joined the Alpha Club, she was in the Alpha magazines racing her classic Alpha, and she was also an inspiration to me to get into motorsport, and we're good friends today. And yeah, sometimes I see her at other racing events. So
it's really cool. What was the name of the podcast? Sorry, because I might give that a listen.
It's pretty intense. Danika Patrick interviews. It's actually not really a racing podcast. It's more sort of well-being and inspiration podcast. But yeah, there's some. But she has interviewed some race drivers that she used to compete with. So
for those who are Formula One fans, and you heard the name Susie Wolff, she's actually Toto Wolff's wife, and she runs a Formula E team, for those who didn't know. So she's doing really well, and I guess she's competing against Toto, who I guess you could say he runs the Mercedes F1 team. Do you have any social medias, where people can find you?
So I'm at Marisa's Car Adventures on Instagram, and if you look up Marisa's Car Adventures on Facebook, I've got a page there. I mainly use Instagram though, because it's easier and fun to use. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Anyone that you would like to thank that's helped you on the way?
So first and foremost, I'd like to thank my partner Steve. He's been my number one support throughout this journey. He also races with me sometimes, so that's always good fun. I'd like to thank my family for putting up with my craziness over the past few years, and my friend Steve Aarons, who has always been encouraging me, and who is my mentor for sprint racing and a great instructor. Paul and Ruth Freem, and also Bill Freem, for introducing me to motorcarners and helping me with my journey, and being good teammates and convoy mates to every motorcarner that we go to. David, Rob and Deb Judd, who also encouraged me to get involved in motorcarners. the Fiat Club and the Alpha Club. I'd like to thank both of them because I wouldn't be here today without those clubs. Special mention to my mechanic, Leonardo Coco from Coco Eurotech, for keeping the 𝘂𝑚 running awesome and helping me out with parts. And also I'd like to thank and special mention to Race Chick Motorsport for holding such amazing events this year and helping me network with other female racers.
Would you like to tell me about your husband's car? Like, you said that he also races, so can you tell me about that car?
Okay, so he shares my 𝘂𝑚 with me, but he does have a Mazda RX-8 and a Kia Stinger. So, yeah, he's into cars too as well. But he plays golf on the weekends, so sometimes that clashes with the motorcarners. So he can't get along to everyone, but when he can, he does come along and has fun.
It's been a lot of fun talking to you tonight, Marisa, and I can really see how passionate you are about your car and being involved in grassroots racing. I'm sure if anyone out there has thought of giving it a go and hasn't had the courage to do it, by hearing your story tonight, I think it might inspire them to get involved. Thanks everybody, and I'm looking forward to getting back on track as soon as possible. And I hope you all can if you're racing as well. And I'm really missing driving the car a lot. I just want to get out there and do some racing. But just remember, if you get the chance to get back on the track soon, drive fast and take chances, everyone.